Also, there's a skin that looks similar to that Fortnite phone that could be Amy.
I'm not worried about Fortnite right now. I'm trying to stream.
I sent the Midas one by accident. Whoopsies!
Yeah, I see it already.
I meant to send you this one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I see. I'm just trying to play Minecraft. Hey, fucking excuse me.
Yeah, you uploaded.
That's not the fucking... Oh, okay. I do not care about this ad. What the fuck was I doing?
Love to see that cash, baby.
I do not care, Kevin Hart. I am trying to get a PlayStation Grenade video.
Hello there. Another season ends and another recap is here for you. If you can't quite remember what happened over the last 11 weeks of Fortnite, this time it's all about Chapter 3, Season 4, Paradise. If this helps, please think about using code ADAMARIO. It would really help. Anyway, you ready? Let's do this. To set the scene, we need to jump back a season or two. The Foundation led us into war with the Imagined Order as we raced against time to take out the Collider before all life was wiped off the island was finally free. The following season, that 0 point there fell dormant as we did absolutely nothing for a season, all the while watched by a mysterious figure. The reality tree's roots spread constantly until season 4 began. Welcome to Paradise. Week 1. The season begins with a revelation in yet another secret bunker underground. Moments later, it consumes 3 of them, leaving the Paradigm 9. And that was the last we saw of her. The Herald then chose to build her new palace on the ruins of Sanctuary and did this for the next 11 weeks, only stopping to eliminate pesky loopers from time to time. The first POI to be claimed by the Herald was the old volcano, every building consumed. Yet the pirate ship known as the Driftwood found a way to get off the ground to save itself. This was also the solution of No Sweat Insurance in Tilted Towers, who systematically saved POIs all season with balloons. Things were getting outside Jonesy and the scientist's slightly erratic AI, Amy.
Computer, scan tree.
Human, kick rocks.
We visited the reality tree. Once a tree of life, now a husk of
Human
itself.
kick
And so
rocks.
we figured out that the roots of the tree were being...
Oh wait, so Amy just practically told him to go fuck himself. Amy! Not
used by
nice.
the Paradigm to communicate with us. After running errands to complete the scientist's research, we finally were able to hear the transmission.
You're there. You can hear me.
I thought Robot got kind of sad, and I really want to play with John. She wasn't fucking a robot.
And listen, there will be no second chances here. The nothing is...
Typically, it cut off. The rest of the mission saw Jones and Amy get over their differences and agree to save the island.
I'm sorry for calling you a toaster, Amy.
I'll help you save the island. I just want to see the scientist again.
Oh, and it was also Fortnite Battle Royale's 5th birthday this week, so cake.
Happy birthday!
A huge curveball was thrown our way in week 3. By playing as the Battle Pass skin Bytes, we could interact with certain Chrome TVs.
We see you're finally prepared to face your fate. But first, you must prove yourself.
Byte was recruited by the Nothing. The promise of gifts kept him coming back for more, slowly losing himself. Let's check back on him in a few weeks. Elsewhere, Sleepy Sound was consumed by the Chrome, but luckily, No Sweat Insurance saved many buildings. Most importantly, the lighthouse. Strangely, a few new POIs had appeared. First, the original Loot Lake house from Chapter 1, and then this mansion 2 weeks later. It seemed to be for the Halloween update. The greatest update in the side story of the bromance happened this week. Svenja, the 7th entry, was watching the lads, and now she's one of them. From Humblebee and the Evil Dead arrived with the iconic cabin found in the woods, complete with eerie basement underneath. A new foe can be found at Grim Gables by stepping into a summoning circle. This ended up being a showcase.
But we are seeking a warrior. Will you continue?
The Nothing want a warrior in their enemies' ranks. To keep this guy subservient, the Nothing grants gifts regularly, feeding his addiction. Oh, and I also thought we should try this. Should someone who isn't Bytes decides to communicate with the Nothing, this is said.
You're not the one we're looking for.
While you, burgers, are back at Arby's?
Also, we can pause for now.
Week 7. A random Star Wars week interrupts the season, but I guess wielding a lightsaber should never be dismissed. The real progression this week came from the Herald herself. We were sent to warn inhabitants on the island. Some took it better than others. What's interesting is if we told Evie, she's been another sleeper agent on the island for the Peace Syndicate. By talking to her, she says this. So this is how it happens. I need to send a transmission. She definitely knows something. It's like she was expecting this. Chrome Jam Junction was obliterated by the Chrome. Thankfully, Crackshot's cabin was saved. It's like the house from Up. And the huge home by the maze in the north was also elevated to safety. Sadly, they were lost. Mainly the old Coliseum near Condo Canyon. It's totally gone. Only hexagonal pillars in its wake. And let's check on Bytes.
You feel your identity slipping away. Do not resist.
But those legends at No Sweat Insurance were able to save another landmark, the Clock Tower. Week 9 saw the storyline finally return as Jonesy and Amy got in touch. It turns out they've been working without us, but now they need our help again, which is just lapdog stuff, moving things around. It doesn't matter though, we are close enough to hear the Paradigm's next transmission.
Reality as you know it is going to end. I know that's hard to hear, but there's no changing it now.
So, it turns out the 0 Point has fallen dormant after pleading for help all last season. That's why it was letting out that bolt of energy constantly. Paradigm asks us to speak to Jonesy about the Loop Breaker project.
Ask Jones about the Loop Breaker project. Keep it confidential. It's not.
Which looks to be a hint towards legendary Golden Man Midas, the device event a few years ago. Our final task is to locate the scientist's research, which is always found in the trash.
Well, they're here. And they spell horrible. Boom.
And then we send it to the Paradigm. How do we do that, I hear you ask? Well, it's done via Bush Ranger, who, if you remember, was planted beside the reality tree last season to spy on it from the inside. And those roots the tree have grown this season are our way to communicate with the Paradigm. Yes, it's weird, I agree, just don't think about it too much. Here's her final message of the season.
Hey, Amy. Thanks for everything. Best friend.
Too much, too soon.
Just friends then. Got it.
Oh, I thought he... Okay, I didn't hear that when I was playing. He said best friend. I thought he was trying to make a move on Amy.
But she just freaking went.
No, like, he apparently he wasn't.
The ornaments. I couldn't have done this without them. Without any of you. And this should be everything I need. To stay alive. Here's hoping we see each other again. Paradigm, over and out.
Oh, and Rocket League cars arrived.
Rocket League!
10 weeks deep into the season and the event timer finally appears, counting down the seconds to reality changing forever. The only person we need to catch up on now is Bytes, who over the last 7 weeks has gone on a journey like no other. He speaks to the Nothing one final time.
Always vigilant. When we have need of you, you will be summoned.
By completing all his quest line, a huge piece of lore is revealed. Byte is now a warrior of the last reality.
The time for games is over.
The Cube Queen we were certain we defeated by flipping the entire island on her head is likely still alive. Or maybe someone else has taken over her reign. That war is not over. And now it's week 11. The final moments of the season pass by. The live event happens this weekend, December 3rd, as we reforge the island and stop the Chrome. The Herald, the Nothing, the Warrior of the Last Reality all stand in our way. Only the Loop Breaker Protocol remains. I hope you have a good time at the event. I'm Adam, you're awesome. I'll see you next time.
I'm scared.
My name is Ruth Carter. I collaborate.
I don't care who you are. I was trying to watch that fucking video.
What are you doing here? You're early. I haven't even done the intro yet. Go away.
Alright, bye, Freddy. Okay, so I don't know what this is about finding an exit and getting out of here, but I know of one exit, which is from the atrium area to... Oh, how did I even get there? Oh, that better be Freddy. Okay. Why would you do that to me? I have to put the eyes back in again. What?
Let's begin.
Okay, I'll be back.
I am having a hard time adjusting.
Okay.
Eyes are amazing.
Uh-huh.
Wondrous colors and objects I never knew existed.
Uh-huh.
You can hide from me now.
Uh-huh. Don't you get me. It's game over. Oh, God! How you... Oh, my God, no, not Monty. Not Monty. Not Monty. Not Monty. I can't stop Monty. I can't stop Monty. Freddy, Freddy, please. Freddy, Freddy. Now, now, Freddy. Now, now, Freddy. 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 Freddy, I need you right now. Please be... Oh, God, that's not Freddy. Freddy! 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 No! 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 Freddy!
Rick Hard.
That was funny.
I think I have a cold of some sort for some reason. I keep coughing hard.
Okay, well, don't give it to me.
I'm not giving it to you.
Time to go back to my creepypastas. I think my favorite creepypasta out of that whole bunch was 1999. Disney Catacomb. Ooh! I'm gonna watch that one. I like the Disney creepypastas. The fuck? Okay.
So a couple years back, my buddies and I tried to stay in the park after closing time. Our plan was to just take pictures, nothing sinister or anything like that. We just wanted to say we did it, you know? Basically, we snuck from bathroom to bathroom, corner to corner, and managed to stay there until they closed the gates and the maintenance team got to work. We were really surprised why we hadn't, gotten caught. It was almost strange, considering how much talking up Disney security really gets, right? Our hearts were beating like crazy, and we sat there for a while, hiding behind a tombstone by the haunted mansion. We noticed that it's true. The Disney staff had signed their names on every single one. So finally, we got the courage to roam about, still being careful as to not be seen. It was really eerie. The occasional guard or maintenance worker would walk by and we would just duck or hide behind a corner. It worked. For about a half hour. Of course we couldn't keep this thing up for too long, and yeah, they caught us. Props for even not where the story. The first thing we said when we got caught was, "Are you gonna take us down to the dungeon?" And we laughed. And the security guard chuckled too, so the mood wasn't too dreary. He told us we weren't the first people to be in the park after hours, really. So we called for more workers to come and help him escort us, and we went on our way, actually, towards Toontown, I believe, yeah. Then they took us down into this elevator. Right into hell. The first thing we noticed was how expensive-looking said elevator was. I didn't know if that makes sense, but it's hard to explain. It was like a stainless steel interior, with mirrors all around, and the floor was this tacky red carpeting, but it looked expensive. There were only 2 buttons on the elevator, not counting the emergency buttons, one set up and the other set down. I had forgotten to mention that they handcuffed us or even zip-tied our hands. They just kind of walked beside us, expecting that we would follow. And not that we would even try to make a run for it. I mean, these people did seem decent. Like how, we're a heavy metal door that had a security code and card reader. One worker put his card in, the other typed a code on the keypad. I watched the code he typed in, 121566. I only remember it because I found out later what its significance was, and it makes me laugh looking back. Strange. It's strange that I could laugh even looking back. They led me and my friends into another corridor. This one had doors down the hallway and walls. Each door had a little plexiglass square, a 10 by 10 inch window at the top right corner. Sort of like a psych ward, honestly. Not so much like a jail. He led us to room 1901, and inside was a single desk, with surprisingly 3 chairs for me and each of my friends. Then they left us there alone, closing the door on the way out. We sat in the chairs like obedient little children and waited for them to return, but they never did. 2 hours went by and no one came back for us. My buddy Tim went to the door, and surprisingly it was unlocked. He didn't open it though. He was worried there'd be a guard on the outside and that they'd think we were escaping. And who knows? So about 25 minutes went by, when we got restless and finally decided to leave the room. The hallway was empty, like before. No signs of people, nothing. We started calling out. Hello? Is anybody there? We noticed surveillance.
Why would they just leave them in there?
We got to wondering if there was any living soul in this place at all. We should have left right there and then, but then again, whoever does the right thing in these kind of situations. Every door looked the same, and each one had a specific number above it. They weren't in order like, say, rooms 1 to 10. They were scattered numbers. For example, our room had been 1901, but the door next to it was 1205. So we got to thinking and finally assumed that they were just randomly chosen. We walked up that hallway and had no idea where we were going, what we were hoping to find, or even if any of that even mattered. My other buddy, Guy, decided we should just leave. He said that if they really wanted us here, they'd have come back, and maybe it's just some weird scare tactic. Maybe they just wanted to trick us into thinking we were being arrested, and were waiting for us outside to laugh. I felt weary of the whole situation, and Tim was just quiet the whole time, nodding his head here and there. He was more interested in looking into the door's little 10 by 10 inch windows, and that wasn't a good idea. I tried to tell him, but of course no one ever, and we were definitely freaked the fuck out at this point. The cameras above the doors were capable of motion detection and followed us as we wandered down the desolate corridor. A little red light at the bottom of the lens blinking with each second. No noise filled the air, all we heard was each other's breathing. And then it happened. We had reached the end of the hallway. Unfortunately, the door at the end had another pin code reader. I tried the pin from before, the one I saw them type in, but it was invalid. At that moment, the lights in the hallway shut off, and we heard the doors. God damn it, I can still hear them to this day. The fucking doors opened. All lining up along the corridor, they made a subtle creak and then a boom as they hit the wall beside with a force. As I said, after I entered the invalid code into the keypad, the lights shut off and the doors opened, except for the door with the keypad. We also noticed as the doors opened, each doorway had a little bit of light seeping from its open pathway. We stood there, stunned, for a good 5 minutes. Not knowing what to do, we figured we'd trip some kind of alarm, and this was just some weird protocol, a standard drill, if you will, in case of any kind of an attempted escape. What were we supposed to think? So we turned the other direction away from the locked door. A sense of panic hit all 3 of us for some reason, and we got this urge to run. No one agreed to running. It was like we all knew we had to at the same time. Some sort of instinct, you know, like a baby gazelle knowing when to run from a lion. We weren't a lion's den, huh? It wasn't until about 10 doors that we, yeah, it was the 10th door actually that we had passed, that we began to look into the doorways as we passed them. Standing in the doorways were people in costume. We were running past Donald's, Mickey's, Goofy's, Pluto's, and all different kinds of Disney characters. It was insane, and we screamed at the top of our lungs. I know they say never look behind you as you run, but I did. They were leaving their rooms and following us, not running, just casually walking towards us. I think that is what made it that much more terrifying, almost like they knew we had nowhere to go. Now, I don't know if it was all in my head, just from sheer panic and fear of the moment, but I swear, I could swear on my mother's life, I heard It's a Small World playing over an intercom.
What the fuck?
I have a fear of dolls, and the ride away,
This is stupid.
that ride always gave me the creeps my whole
It's a
life.
small world.
Now I can see the little robotic dolls standing in the doorways as we passed, still following were the costumed characters. The dolls weren't chasing us, thank God. I would have died from a heart attack if I had seen the dolls following suit. But they didn't. It didn't make the situation all that better. I mean, how many times have you been followed by a group of costumed individuals seemingly out to fucking eat you alive? At least that's what I had told myself to keep moving. Stopping them being devoured by fucking Donald Duck. I don't know about you, but that is not a way I'd want to go out. Tim was crying, Guy was sweating and breathing heavily, and I just kept turning my head to see if we were being followed. And of course we were. I'm not sure how many doors we had passed at this point, or if there really were different characters at each door, but I knew that this hallway had to end at some point. We were getting the fuck out of this place pronto. And that's easier said than done. I looked back after another minute or two of running and noticed that there was nothing behind us anymore, and that we could see